You know what's sad to me? What's sad to me is, of course, I have not found every single African channel on YouTube, but I have found a lot and I have subscribed to a lot. And the most interesting thing about a lot of these African content creators is, once again, African content creators only talk about foundational Black American issues. They only talk about our news. They only feature our people and all of their video commentaries, or white Americans, Africans on YouTube. They seem to never talk about what's going on back home. And the other saddest thing is, you have the African Diaspora Channel, who was run by Philip Scott, who himself is a foundational Black American. He covers more African news than Africans do. This is embarrassing to Africans. It really is, because Senegalese citizens are protesting in front of the Ukraine embassy, asking the ambassador to leave Senegal. And there's another country, African country, who joined in with them. This is really, really interesting news. Oh, it was France. They want France and Ukraine embassy out of their country because of how the Africans were treated in Ukraine when the war started. They were uh, telling them they couldn't get on the trains, they couldn't get on the buses, they had to walk. Like, this is crazy. And this should have been done immediately after all of that. All African nations should have expelled Ukraine and France from their soil. They should have cut all ties immediately. You see? And I was just talking about this today, how Africans' biggest problem is their lack of unity, their lack of coming together, and not only that, their lack of talking about their own issues. I think a lot of Africans are engaging in African American or Black American escapism. Seriously, because I'm fascinated by African news. But same thing. The only way I really learned about African news is I watched the African Diaspora Channel, a Black American channel that's running African news. But yet Africans are always talking about Sexy Red and well, to be honest with you, a lot of these African channels, they were covering Kevin Samuels when he was alive. They were jacking his shit like on a daily basis. He would produce a new video. They would put the video on their channel. That's when he was talking about suing different channels because they were taking his videos and profiting off of it, right? Then after he passed, there's still some Africans that are running his videos, but now I'm seeing too many African channels be either African male, African women, and they are jacking Kendra G's content every time she publishes. They put the whole damn video. It's just, this is shameful behavior, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, the ones that do it, they have to start getting more respect for themselves. They really do. They have content just like this. They have content that they can find. They can report on their own issues. And they can try to make their continent better. But the saddest thing is, instead of facing their issues head on and realizing that, hell, even India within 25 years has made a lot of progress. Like, they can make similar or even greater progress as well. But it takes being disciplined, it takes being organized, it takes stop fighting with each other. For the life of me, I don't know why Africans are fighting, why they still have wars over there. Like you wake up and you realize that let it go, let it die, move on. See, closing this out, I would have to say the problem. There's many problems with Africa. Number one, like I said, Africans are ashamed of Africa. I think a lot of them are. It shows on their channels, like they don't talk about Africa at all. They only talk about foundational Black American celebrities and stuff like that. It's like, come on, or Black American politics. They never talk about Africa, right? Very few of their channels do. They engage in this mental escapism, which is not helping them to improve themselves and to improve their continent. And I would say finally that they need a strong African emperor that can coordinate all their nations with a top down strategy of constant improvement and to make the continent so powerful that the world will need Africa, not Africa needing the world. There is no reason other than stupidity why Africans are still fighting with Africans and why uh, they are not the powerhouse of the world. Because I didn't look at raw data or numbers, but it kind of looks like India is ahead of Africa in so many ways. I mean, India has a space program. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they've made a lot of progress, man. And a lot of African, a lot of the African continent, it just seems to be going through stagnation. So, but the first way to combat this problem is to do what? Stop being ashamed of your continent. It's a beautiful continent. It needs a lot of work. It's a work in progress, but the first way you do this is to look in the mirror and to stop being ashamed. Then you go from there.